missing persons, cold cases, true crime news, and more. And today I have an update and some additional information and developments in a case that I've been keeping up with and following since around March of this year, 2024. The case of Blake and London Deven from Fayetteville, North Carolina. There have been some recent developments as of the end of June. So for anybody who's not familiar with this case, I will give you the background information, a quick timeline going back to 2006, and then I will give you the latest updates that Avantae Deven, who is the adoptive mother of Blake and London Deven, has been arrested and charged with several charges regarding Blake and London's presumed deaths. So in late March of 2024, Fayetteville, North Carolina police had asked the public to help find Blake Deven, and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children database listed Blake as having been missing since 2022, and today he would have been around 17 years old. So public documents revealed that Blake was reported missing in January of 2024, but the Fayetteville police did not ask for the public's help finding Blake until March 28th of 2024. And then just days later, police also added Blake's adopted sister, London Deven, who would be 27 years old today, to the search as being missing. And the last known recent available photo that they had of Deven was from 2007 when she was around 12 years old, and she had also apparently been missing for years, according to police and some family members. So on April 9th, Fayetteville police announced that they had found partial skeletal remains in the search for Blake and London. An investigator said it could take months to identify the remains, which at that time I said may or may not be connected to either London or Blake. Police did not say specifically where the remains were found, but they did say it was not at the Deven home on Berrydale Drive in Fayetteville. And so the most recent development was on June 26th. Avantae Deven, who is the adoptive mother of Blake and London, was arrested and charged with first-degree homicide, kidnapping, and child harm in relation to the presumed deaths of London and Blake. So that is the basic information. So now I'm going to quickly go through a timeline starting back in 2006, and how all these events starting in 2006 led up to the arrest of Avantae Deven just recently. So in 2006, Blake is born. In 2007, the last known photo of London Deven was taken when she was around 12 years old, and this is according to Fayetteville police. In 2011, Madison County Department of Social Services said that Blake Deven had been placed into Buncombe County foster home. In January of 2011, Avantae Emerald Deven filed a petition to adopt London, according to court documents. In March of 2011, Avantae Deven's petition to adopt London is approved, also according to court documents. In May of 2011, a licensed private child placing agency placed Blake Deven in a foster home located in Buncombe County, according to the Madison County Department of Social Services. So fast forward to 2012, the last known photo of Blake was taken when he was around 6 years old, and this is according to Fayetteville police. In April of 2013, court documents state that Avantae Deven filed a petition to adopt Blake. In July of 2013, Avantae Deven's petition for Blake Deven's adoption was approved, according to the Madison County Department of Social Services. Once again, fast forwarding to 2015, the Deven family moves to Cumberland County, and this is according to the Madison County Department of Social Services. And Fayetteville Police Chief Kimberly Braden has also said that the Deven family moved to, quote, the Fayetteville area in 2015. In November of 2016, the Deven family moved to a Fayetteville home on Eichelberger Drive, which is near Devlin Drive. This is according to police. And police also said that the Deven family lived at the home until around June of 2019, and that the family who currently lives at the home was not related to this investigation, and at the time, they fully cooperated. In June of 2019, the Deven family moved to a home on Berrydale Drive near Tarbert Avenue, according to police. And police also said that the Deven family still lived there as of April 18th of 2024. So fast forward to 2019, this year marked the last time that London Deven was seen in Fayetteville, according to police. On August 1st of 2022, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children database stated that Blake Deven, like I said earlier, had been missing since 2022. And when Fayetteville Police Chief Braden held a news conference about the search for Blake on April 5th, 2024, he said that Blake was possibly last seen in 2022 at a Walmart when he would have been between around 14 to 15 years old. In November of 2023, Fayetteville Police said during a June 26, 2024 press conference, I think that's supposed to be 2023, that officers had responded to a mental health crisis at the home on Berryville Drive. And at that time, a person at the residence told officers that Blake Deven had not been seen in at least 5 years. And when he had been seen last, he did have a broken arm. January of 2024, public documents list Blake Deven was reported missing in January, but Fayetteville Police did not publicly announce this until March 29th of 2024. On March 27th, 2024, the Fayetteville Police Department and the FBI searched 3 locations in Fayetteville in regards to the investigation to finding Blake. And Fayetteville Police Chief Braden declined to provide specifics of the locations that were searched. March 28th of 2024, Fayetteville Police issued a news release asking for the public's help in finding Blake Deven, a 17-year-old boy. They included a photo of Blake that was taken around 2012 when he was in elementary school. And with the help from NCMEC, police also provided an age-progressed photo of what Blake could look like today. Police did not say how long Blake had been missing. However, NCMEC stated that Blake had been missing since 2022. Chief Braden did not offer a reason for the gap in time between when Blake was last seen and when the search for him was made public. April 4th of 2024, Fayetteville Police announced that they were also looking for London Deven, who would now be 27 years old. Police released a photo of London from around 2007 when she was around 12 years old. And the FBI also added posters of Blake and London to its missing persons website. On April 5th of 2024, Fayetteville Police Chief Braden held a news conference urging the public to help find Blake and London. And specifically, Chief Braden had asked people to contact the police or the FBI if they had contact with the 2 missing children. And during the April 5th news conference, Chief Braden did not say if police had identified any people of interest in the cases. Chief Braden also said that the FBI joined the search for Blake and London. He did not say whether Cumberland County Social Services was involved in the search. Braden said police had executed a search warrant that day at a home along Eichelberger Drive, where Blake and London Deven were known to have lived with Avantae Deven, their adoptive mother. And Braden said, "I want to be clear, the family that lives at the home now is extremely cooperative with us and has no connection at all to this investigation." It says these are very unusual missing person cases. Braden also said that the police department's investigation did not start with a 911 call, calling it a, quote, complex investigation that would take time. And also, Braden said police and the FBI could not publicly release certain information in the interest of finding Blake and London. April 6, 2024, according to Blake Deven's biological mother, Felicia Chandler, Blake went into foster care in 2011 because of abuse allegations, which she denies. Chandler said she discovered that her son was missing in February of 2024 when the Fayetteville Police Department notified her. She said that Blake's birth name is Trenton Dwayne Schuler. She said Blake was placed into foster care more than a decade ago, and she said that she had lost contact with him in 2013. Blake's aunt, Miranda Miller, said other family members had not seen Blake in 5 years, and she said that Blake's adoptive mother never enrolled him in school. She said, quote, "As far as we know, from the time that she got him, she homeschooled them." On April 8th of 2024, FBI agents and Fayetteville police searched a home on Berryville Drive where police said Blake and London lived as children before they were reported missing. And the FBI executed a search warrant on April 8th to search that home along with Fayetteville police and forensic teams. The search warrant was sealed, but sources close to the investigation told WRAL News authorities were looking for evidence in the home that may explain the disappearance of London and Blake. Law enforcement began searching the home at 8 a.m. on April 8th. It was the second search of the property, and authorities were also at the home between April 5th through the 7th. The investigation appeared to focus on the garage and interior of the home, and some investigators were also wearing hazmat suits. The home belonged to the Deven family years earlier, police said, and the family currently living in the home at the time was not related to the search and was cooperating with the investigation. On April 9th of 2024, WRAL News spoke with a neighbor, James Howard, who lives in a house on Berryville Drive in Fayetteville. The home is across the street from the one that Blake and London lived in as children. And Howard said he last saw the children around 2018. He said the picture of London that was released by police shows a younger child than the teenage girl he saw at the house. However, he said he was pretty sure that both the photograph and the girl he knew were the same person. Howard said he knew the woman who cared for the two children as Ava Maxwell. Fayetteville police said the woman who lives there is Avantae Deven, who once again is the adoptive mother of Blake and London. It says that WRAL News knocked on the door of that home on April 9th, but they got no answer. On April 10th of 2024, Sherry Foster, who is the biological mother of London, provided new pictures of her daughter, and these photos were taken through various stages of London's childhood, and it remained unclear what London looks like now. Foster said she did not learn of her daughter's disappearance until April 4th of 2024. And she also told WRAL News that she had not seen or heard from her daughter since 2001. And she said that London's birth name is Mariah Elizabeth Foster. April 12th of 2024, Fayetteville police found partial skeletal remains in the search for Blake and London. However, investigators did not confirm if the remains were connected to London or Deven, or London or Blake, excuse me. Testing to determine the identification, they said, could take weeks or months, according to police. And the police also said that testing does not always result in a positive identification. In April 14th of 2024, Sherry Foster spoke with WRAL News about the disappearance of her daughter, London. Foster said she is praying that one of the sets of remains does not belong to her daughter. She says, quote, all these years I thought she didn't want to see me, and now I found out that she's missing. You see it on the news and never think, oh, it's not going to happen to me. On April 18th of 2024, Fayetteville police asked for the opinion in pinning down when Blake and London were last seen. Investigators asked anyone who visited the Deven family at either their home along Michaelberger Drive or the current home on Berrydale Drive to contact them with any information. Specifically, police asked anyone who visited the homes to deliver something, buy something, sell something, repair something, or saw anything to call the Fayetteville Police Department or the FBI. On April 19th of 2024, WRAL News obtained a document showing where Blake and London may have been homeschooled, and the homeschool, which was called Deven Academy, listed the address for the homeschool as the same address on Eichelberger Drive, which the Fayetteville police said the Deven family lived until June of 2019. On April 19th, WRAL News reached out to the person listed as the chief administrator of the school, but got no answer back. The documents show the home school opened in 2007, and in 2013, the documents show 2 students were enrolled. It's the same year that Avantae Deven adopted Blake and Deven and at least one other child who is not London Deven. And since learning of Blake and London Deven's disappearance, WRAL News has not been able to reach Avantae Deven. April 26th of 2024, cityviewNC.com shared a recording of a 911 call that was made on January 19th, 2024 by the adoptive mother, Avantae. According to the recording, Avantae contacted emergency services to report Blake missing and said that she needed to file a missing person report. Avantae said that Blake had been missing, quote, around the holidays in 2022 between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And at the end of the call, the dispatcher asked Avantae about the last location she saw Blake, and she was unable to give an answer. The Fayetteville Observer reported that Avantae Deven is accused in a civil court petition of financially exploiting and neglecting her ailing mother. The Cumberland County Department of Social Services filed a request for an emergency order of protection on behalf of 95-year-old Leonie Maxwell. In its request, DSS states that Maxwell is unable to advocate for herself because she is on a ventilator in the cardiac intensive care unit at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center after sustaining an anoxic brain injury in November. June 26th of 2024, Avantae Deven, the adopted mother of Blake and London, was arrested and charged with first-degree homicide, kidnapping, and child abuse in relation to the deaths of Blake and London. So that is a timeline leading up from 2006, the year that that Blake was born, up to the arrest of Avantae Deven now for the presumed deaths of Blake and London. So now I'm going to, and trigger warning. You say have trigger warning at the top of the slide there. I'm going to read now from an article that gives some details and information from the search warrants and the probable cause affidavits. So just be warned, anything obviously dealing with the harming of children is disturbing. So just be warned. And I would suggest not watching the rest of this video if it would be triggering for you. Right, this information comes from the Fayetteville Observer website, and it is from July 3rd of this year, 2024. Once again, trigger warning. It does contain some very disturbing information. It says an adopted sibling of 2 missing children, one deceased and the other presumed deceased, was allegedly forced by their adoptive mother, Avantae Deven, to purchase tools and dismember the bodies according to court records in the case. And when the state began asking questions and the Department of Social Services got involved, the record states Avantae Deven enlisted a family friend to impersonate her adopted son, presumably that would be Blake. The allegations are laid out in the homicide case against Avantae Deven, 63, in the passing of London Deven and the presumed passing of Blake Deven. She is charged with 2 counts of first-degree homicide, 2 counts of child harm causing serious bodily injury, 2 counts of destroying human remains or concealing an unnatural death, and 1 count of kidnapping. And the 2 children are among 5 kids that Avantae Deven adopted from 3 North Carolina counties, according to officials. Fayetteville Police Sergeant Jeff Locklear announced last week that investigators believe Blake was starved, isolated, and abused. He was about 10 years old in 2017 until his body could no longer take the inhumane treatment he had passed at the family's former home on Aquawood Drive. The sergeant said it is believed that 2 years later, London, who was equally treated the same way, also passed away at the family's current home on Berrydale Drive. Human remains found in April in the backyard of a home on Beaver Dam Road in Archerville were determined to belong to a boy between the ages of 7 and 10 and a girl between the ages of 15 and 19. Locklear said some of the remains were confirmed in mid-June to belong to London. The other remains are undergoing further testing, but the record states that they preliminarily appear to belong to Blake. Avantae Deven was arrested at her home on June 26 of 2024, some 6 months after reporting in a 911 call that she last saw Blake in 2022 as he was leaving to attend what she said a Buddhist retreat. Locklear said that Avantae Deven never reported London missing, and police only learned about her disappearance during their hunt for Blake. In addition to the adopted children, Avantae Deven's elderly mother, Leonie Beverly Eileen Maxwell, lived with the family in Fayetteville. This is according to police. Miss Maxwell passed away on May 31st at the age of 95 after an extended illness. Her passing came in the wake of news that 2 of Deven's children had been missing for years, and less than 3 weeks after a Cumberland County judge granted an emergency petition to the DSS for control over Miss Maxwell's medical care as she languished in the hospital following a stroke and resulting brain injury in November. According to the arrest warrant, the Fayetteville Police Department first learned that Blake was missing after a child at the Deven home called 911 and said he wanted to take his own life. In follow-up interviews, the 15-year-old told officials quote, he had not seen his brother Blake in 5 years, and that the last time he did see Blake, he had a broken arm, and that he is now deceased, and this was in the affidavit. The record alleges that once the Department of Social Services became involved, Avantae Deven became nervous and convinced a family friend to impersonate Blake during a visit from DSS. The record said these allegations were confirmed by the individual in police interviews. The affidavit also states that the homicide unit conducted interviews with multiple individuals close to the case, including one person who claimed the 3 oldest children adopted by Avantae Deven, Blake, London, and another girl were kept in small rooms in complete darkness with little to no food and a plastic container to use as a bathroom. The children were also allegedly forced to do paperwork, which, quote, consisted of writing hundreds and frequently thousands of sentences and paragraphs apologizing for some misdeed they had supposedly done. Another allegation was that Avantae Deven would beat the children severely enough to require medical care, but Avantae Deven refused to provide adequate medical care, only applying things she deemed as natural cures, like applying honey to open wounds, etc. During a search of the Eichelberger Drive home, detectives and FBI agents recovered biological and physical evidence from an upstairs bathroom, according to court records. Investigators reportedly recovered evidence that supports the allegations of the abuse. The record states, quote, video, testimonial, physical, and written evidence of the abuse, torture, and starvation at the hands of Avantae Deven has been located during the investigation into the missing children. Avantae Deven also allegedly told one of her adopted children, quote, if this ever gets found out, you need to take the blame because I will get the DP, and because of your age, you won't get in trouble if you take the blame. This is according to the warrant. So regarding Blake's passing, it says someone who lived with the family on Eichelberger Drive told police that after long periods of isolation, starvation, and torture, Blake's health began to fail in 2017, according to court records, and Blake reportedly became lethargic and eventually lost consciousness. Despite the pleas of his siblings, the record states Avantae Deven allegedly refused to call an ambulance, and ultimately Blake passed away. The record alleges that afterward, Avantae Deven developed a plan to hide Blake's body, his remains, until she could permanently dispose of them, according to the affidavit. She allegedly forced one of Blake's siblings to purchase equipment from a local store to use to dismember his body. It is alleged that Avantae Deven then incinerated Blake's remains in a burn barrel in the backyard of the Eichelberger Drive home and removed any evidence of his passing from the home, according to the affidavit. Regarding London's passing, the family soon after moved to Berrydale Drive, according to the warrant. During this time, one of the other abused children fled the state. When the former member of the household visited and inquired about London, it is alleged that Avantae Deven told the person, quote, I had to put her in a mental institution. And this is according to records. In 2023, when DSS caseworkers began visiting the Berrydale Drive home after the November self-harm attempt on the other children, Avantae Deven allegedly admitted to the family friend that she lied to him and that London, quote, had died from a seizure, had a seizure and passed away, according to the warrant. using the fact that the person had helped dispose of Blake, the warrant states, Avantae Deven allegedly forced the former household member to assist her in disposing of the evidence and covering up the passing of London. After the removal of all incriminating evidence of what happened to London from the home, including removing carpet and flooring, the former household member was allegedly directed by Avantae to take the items to a secluded location and burn them, according to court records. According to the warrant, investigators recovered surveillance video of Avantae Deven with the 2 remaining adopted children in her care at an area Walmart, purchasing a red cooler in which the record suggests that London's remains were found. Detectives recovered a metal burn barrel containing 2 sets of human remains, one of which was confirmed by DNA analysis to be London, according to the warrant. The preliminary test of the second set of remains shows they appear to belong to Blake. Avantae Deven remains in the Cumberland County Jail, where she is being held without bond. So this is obviously awful, horrible, devastating information that is coming out. It just rips my heart apart. It was really hard to read this. I know it was hard listening to it. For those of you who could listen to it, and if you couldn't listen to it, I understand. I will continue to keep an eye on this case and see what develops regarding the arrest and charge of Avantae Deven. Just keep Blake and London and the rest of the family in your thoughts and prayers. Please give this video a like before you leave. Leave a comment, just some words of support and encouragement to the family. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Take care of each other. That is the most important thing we can do, is take care of each other. And I will see you next time. Thank you.